So today, let's talk about credit. I see most newcomers struggle with this new concept of credit in my line of work, and I think it will be good for you to understand how the whole credit system works before you move to Canada. Now that you are making plans to move to Canada, or even if you're already in Canada, you'll be hearing this word credit, especially everywhere you go. Obtaining credit as an individual allows you to obtain goods or services in Canada with the understanding that you will pay for it later. The Canadian credit system is not like the system that we are coming from, which is mainly a debit system where anything that you are paying for, be it goods or services, you have to pay for it upfront. So actually, you don't need to have cash in your pocket to be able to afford goods and services. You can actually credit it and pay for it later. A credit card, which is usually issued by most banks here, is usually the most common way to pay for goods and services on credit. And in my video about the first things you should do the first couple of weeks that you land in Canada, one of the things that I advise most people to do is make sure that at least you open a bank account the first couple of days or weeks that you land in Canada, and also ask for a credit card. That way you'll be able to use it to pay for goods and services on credit. Some banks may require you to have some form of credit history before they will approve you for credit card, especially when the limit that you are trying to apply for may be higher. But what I've seen is most banks will allow newcomers who are coming into Canada to be able to at least get a credit card, and they will allow you some amount of credit limit, which might be as high as up to maybe 1,000. And I've seen some banks allow some newcomers to get credit of up to 2,000. And basically what this one means is you are giving 1,000 or 2,000 based on the limit that was issued to you that you can spend in the month. Then you can pay for that one later. And from my experience, what I've seen is after a couple of months of being on that lower credit, some of the banks will reach out to you based on your payment history. So it will be smart of you to at least take advantage of this system when you land, so that most of the new expenses that you will start incurring, you can start putting that one on your credit card and leave your proof of funds alone. But once you have been approved for a credit card, it is important for you to use it responsibly to help you build a very good credit score. Don't think that this is free money and start using it for actually things that you don't really need. My advice is to be very smart with this money that they are giving to you on credit and be responsible with it, because you would need to pay for it. It's actually real money, and any amount that you use, you have to pay for it. If you don't pay for it, it will start incurring interest, late payment interest and other charges. So be responsible with the credits that you are giving. What I do, and also I advise most people who move here to do, is to make sure that you use a credit card like how you use a debit card. I only use it to pay for goods and services that I know I have money to pay for. So which kind of credit card should you get when you land in Canada? Before applying for a credit card, it is important to do your research and decide on the type of credit card that suits your needs. Some credit cards have low annual interest rates, as low as below 19% on purchases, whilst others have low or no annual fees. Other cards also offer you cashback rewards, which basically means that you are giving back a percentage of the amount that you spend on goods and services as a reward. From my experience, when I was trying to set up a bank account when I landed, I realized that most banks have different cards for different needs. So my advice is make sure you talk to a financial advisor when you are setting up your account about getting a credit card, and make sure you ask all the necessary questions when they offer you the credit card. Then the other phrase that you hear about before you land or when you land here is credit score. So the question is, what is a credit score? A credit score is a number that represents your financial health at a particular point in time. It just indicates how risky you are with money to lenders and how likely you are to pay back your bills on time. In Canada, credit score generally falls between 300 and 900, and the truth is, the higher your credit score, the better it is for you. There are many factors within your control that can impact your credit score. The first one is payment history. This refers to how consistently you pay your credit card bills and any other bills on time. Paying off your bills in full and on time before the due dates is the best way to help increase your credit score. And in all cases, make sure that you at least pay off the minimum payment amount that is required on your credit card before the due dates. So remember that payment history is a very important part of your credit score. The second one is your account activity. So account activities such as opening new or multiple credit accounts in a very short period of time can negatively impact your credit score. So it is important to only try and apply for credit only when you actually need it. For times like when you've just landed in Canada. The third one is the length of your credit history. What I've seen so far is that the length of your credit history can make up about 15% of your credit score. Because in general, the longer you use a credit card and ensure that you pay your bills on time, the better it is for your credit score. So don't be worried when you just land in Canada and after a couple of months, you receive your credit score and find out that it's actually on the low side, even though you think you are credit worthy. It might just be because you actually haven't built enough credit history for them to at least trust you enough to put you in the high column. The next point is too many credit checks. The truth is, too many credit checks can actually be bad for your credit score, because anytime a lender actually makes a request to see your credit score, it is actually recorded on your credit reports. And it actually shows that you are actually trying to assess some amount of credit. And also, multiple or recent credit inquiries can also give lenders the impression that you are urgently looking for credit because you are not budgeting your money well. These are 5 tips that I think can help you build a very good credit score. The first one is pay your bills on time. Number 2, try to pay your bills in full. Number 3, get a credit card to help you build a credit history. Number 4, don't spend more than your credit card allows you to. In fact, most financial advisors tell you that only spend about 30% of what your credit card allows you, then pay it off unless you actually need to spend the max. Number 5 is read your monthly account statements to ensure that everything is correct and in order. And if there are any errors, make sure to report them as soon as possible so they can be corrected. So these are some tips that I think I should share with you about credit, especially when you are coming from a debit system to a credit system, just to empower you to prepare yourself to be successful here. If you got value out of this video, kindly hit the subscribe button if you haven't, so that you can join this family whilst we all learn together, and hit the like button so that YouTube will see value in this video and share with other people who also see value in it. And do share this video with family and friends that you think it will be valuable to them before they get to Canada. Until the next video, cheers.